Russia has terminated the wartime grain agreement that permitted the safe export of grain from Ukraine through the Black Sea to nations in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. As you know, this is a war going on there, and Russia controlling at least that region of the Black Sea. Fat chance seeing Ukraine get grain out otherwise. But they decided to end this agreement. Dmitry Peskov, a spokesperson for the Kremlin, said that Russia would stop taking part in the Black Sea Grain Initiative until its request to export its own grain and fertilizer to other countries are satisfied. Peskov stated that once such criteria were met, that Russia will immediately return to implementation of the deal. Now, Ukraine has come out and said basically, we'll ignore that. We can do it anyway because our deal wasn't with Russia. Of course, Russia's not negotiating with them. Our deal was with the UN and Turkey. But it was Turkey that negotiated this with Russia and the UN. And quite frankly, Ukraine doesn't have much of a navy to back up their side on their own. However, some sources have indicated that Turkey might take great offense to this, that this would anger Turkey because Turkey cares a lot about folks in the Mideast and North Africa in particular, and Asia. They have a lot of trading deals with them, that Turkey might actually use its navy to ensure the transit of this grain, because Turkey also has a very substantial navy. I'll show you in a little bit. So you got to wonder, is this leading to a food war? Could Turkey get into it with Russia over export of Ukraine grain? So guys, could we have a food war here? Could the real start of World War III between NATO, Turkey is a NATO nation, and Russia actually start in the Black Sea over this grain? This grain is in high demand, and are the countries that desperately need it. And of course, the Russian stuff is embargoed, and that embargo is not likely to be lifted, even though their grain is needed too, and their fertilizers in particular. And actually, Russia had themselves cut off that fertilizer earlier, so having them bring that up is kind of interesting. So, we are having some price issues and abilities to grow crop issues due to limited amount of fertilizers and fertilizer prices that have resulted from this. However, maybe Russia wants to go back on that. I don't know. But we're the tensions, all the things that are driving tensions up right now are just going off the charts. But anyway, the agreement was mediated by the UN and Turkey in July of last year, permitted the grain supplies of Ukraine to depart from the Black Sea after Russia's incursion in 2022, which aggravated world food crises. Russia and Ukraine are both significant producers of economical and in-demand food items like wheat, barley, sunflower oil, and others. The UN and Agriculture Organization stated this month that 45 countries require food aid from abroad, citing high local food prices as a driver in worrying levels of hunger in those regions. But according to the Joint Coordination Center in Istanbul, which is the capital of Turkey. No, it's not the capital of Turkey. It's Ankara. It's the big city that used to belong to the Byzantine Empire. It used to be Constantinople. Okay, pardon me. I know better than that. Ukraine has exported close to 33 million metric tons of corn, wheat, and other grain under this Black Sea Grain Initiative. Wheat prices have already started increasing as a result of this deal's cancellation. So, the ink's not even a day old and the prices are already jumping up. But analysts have warned that locating supplies from farther away from Ukraine might drive those prices up much higher. So, guys, we're in kind of a food fit here, you might say. So let me share some articles with you on this, kind of let you see what we're looking at. And I'm going to show you the Turkish Navy, which is pretty substantial. And some say it's even greater than the Russian Navy that's in the Black Sea. Here we are, guys. So Russia suspends the Black Sea grain deal amid growing global hunger. Okay. And we'll come over here and look at this. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, this might be a good time to think about growing your own garden. Check out my links to True Leaf Market, where you can get the kind of seeds. It's not too late to plant a summer, fall garden, guys. It's not too late. If you haven't started growing, it's time to start thinking about it. And this is non-GMO seeds. You can get the heirloom seeds that you can use to harvest the seeds from and get the same crop back next year, unlike the hybrid seeds that you're so often get from other places. Also, you can get the same thing from Eden Brothers. Links to both below. So if you don't like what one's got, check the other out. Choice Market and Eden Brothers. Okay, just get back to all this. So here's Zelensky crowing like a little banning rooster on this. I kind of think he must have taken banning rooster crowing lessons from French President Macron. Macaroni, excuse me. We're not afraid, Zelensky says. Ukraine will extend the grain initiative without Russia. Yeah, like I said earlier, fat chance of getting your Navy through the Russian Navy. Yeah, you're not going to make it. And you might have a few little drone boats and a few things like that. It might hit a bridge like they just hit the Kirk Strait Bridge. But guys, it's not going to enable them to get past any blockade that Russia might put up against them, which they probably would. It would take Turkey to do that. This article here says that Putin's threat to the Black Sea grain just made him a very dangerous new enemy. And they're talking here about Erdogan, the president of Turkey. And they're talking about the strength of the Turkish Navy and why Turkey might be incentivized to actually assist the export of grain militarily through the Black Sea. Now, that might be a stretch because that kind of provokes World War III. Would Turkey go into it for that? Does Turkey feel strong enough about this? And I'm kind of inclined to think not, but hey, who knows? It might happen. That's what this writer is certain here, is that might happen. Well, if Turkey decides to do this and launch a food war over this, let's have a look at their ships. Turkey's got submarines here. They got three different classes of submarines. You can see they got about 4 submarines in each class. I guess these are coming from Germany. They got attack submarines, 3 different classes of attack submarines. That's quite a few right there. That's like a dozen attack submarines, guys. Let's see, currently undergoing modernization, so some of them may not be in service at the moment. They're getting some rework. But Turkey's got a fair number of submarines, which attack submarines could dispatch some enemy ships rather fast. Oops, they got this other class here too. Pardon me, 4 class. Oh, they got 5 of these here, but these are in trials. So yeah, I don't know if they're ready yet. But anyway, and they've got landing helicopter deck there. It's kind of like an aircraft carrier, a helicopter version. They've got a guided missile frigate. They've got a multi-row frigate, which would also have missiles, of course. They got a couple of them, and they get some from Germany and some from Turkey. Germany's been a major supplier. Look, they got 4 of these and 4 of these. That's 8. They've got this thing, another multi-row frigate. We don't see a picture of it here. This is future acquisition. Okay, so that may not be in place right now, but they've already named some of these ships. All right, they've got corvettes. They're small little multi-purpose ships that are very maneuverable. And it looks like they got 4 of these guys. It says they're integrated Genesis and Advent combat management systems. So these must be, I suppose, they're already in place. All right, they got fast attack craft. Looks like they got 18 of them. 18 various fast attack craft. And these are the various classes they've got here. All right, guys, these are the names of the ships. So Turkey's got, a lot of assets to pull on. They've got patrol vessels, 21 patrol vessels. The Burt class, the Tuzula class. Yeah, guys, Turkey's got a navy. Some of these are getting from France. And of course, they're making their own. Some of these, Turkey's actually in the shipbuilding somewhat, but they're also procuring ships from other sources. So there you go. Turkey actually does have a navy, a pretty substantial navy that enables them to control the Bosphorus Strait, to control the Black Sea and their area in the Mediterranean. So Turkey is involved in all those areas. So, they probably could hold their own if they chose to. Would Russia want to fight Turkey? Being that Turkey's a NATO nation, if they escorted these ships, would Turkey take the chance of it provoking a World War III to escort the grain ships, thinking that, Russia wouldn't dare fire them? I don't know, guys. That might be the case, but then, even in situations like this, accidents happen, miscommunications where nobody intended to start a war, it could still happen. As we get more and more enemy forces and more close contact, as mission creep and all this stuff goes on between Russia and NATO, the chances of war by accident increase. So that's just something to bear in mind. Yeah, they've got a pretty good, they got minesweeping craft. That's not their entire Navy, guys. They got these minesweepers or mine layer craft, mine hunters. I think they got mine layers. Yep. Landing ships, landing craft, amphibious. Yeah, Turkey's got quite a Navy, guys. Nothing to joke about here. Training ships. Wow, look at all this stuff, guys. Turkey has a very substantial tugboats. Well, you know, that's just for day-to-day work. Weapon systems. Yeah, they got missiles. Quite a few missiles at their disposal. M66 Standard missile. Yeah, they got some very, very top-notch missiles here, guys. These are top-notch naval anti-ship missiles. Sparrow. Yeah. 100-millimeter weapon there. Yeah. Oh, the Bofors, guys. I've talked to you a little bit earlier about Bofors in the previous video. Yeah, guys. See, this Phalanx, yeah. They've got a top-notch Navy. That they got with top-notch weapon systems. They got aircraft to support it. Drones. Yeah. Wow. Helicopters. That's our old Cobra helicopters. Seahawks. And a lot of future projects in work. So the Turkish Navy is nothing to laugh at. It's no joke. Turkey's got a very big military. They got 45,000 members in their Navy active. They got over 300,000 in their services total. I think it's 325 or something like that. So the Russian Navy, the Russian military, excuse me, the Turkish Navy, the Turkish military is very substantial. They are a heavyweight in NATO, believe it or not. So nothing to joke about there. So yeah, as y'all know, Vladimir Putin is still pledging revenge after the Crimean bridge, and but all of this this suspension of grain deal was already in work, but they kind of cited that after the bridge was hit, and so this might just drive them further into not wanting to compromise. See, they lost 2 lanes because this part here collapsed a little bit. I guess the pylon underneath it was somewhat damaged. This one section collapsed. Is this repairable? How long will it take to repair it? I assume it is, but doing a repair in war situation is not fun. So nothing to joke about. Anyway, so Ukraine did claim responsibility for this attack. So for those that think they didn't, I've seen different folks just rattling off about different things, guys. But the case is that in that attack, there was a family that apparently it's like 3 a.m. in the morning. We're coming back from vacation. The Russians like to do vacation in Crimea. Also got warm waters in Crimea and beaches, a lot more than what Russia has to offer typically. And so some of them were returning home for vacation. The family, mom and dad and a daughter. And the mom and dad didn't survive. The daughter survived, but she was wounded pretty bad. She was injured. But so she was, I think, 14. So this is the kind of things that happen in war. It's probably a good thing if it was to be hit, it was hit at 3 a.m. in the morning when the traffic was lighter, supposedly. But this is just a risk that happens. Now the Russians are telling the vacationers to go up through the parts of Ukraine that's under Russian possession right now, where Russia's conquered those parts of Ukraine, to get home instead of trying to get across the 2 remaining lanes of the Kerch Strait Bridge, because they probably want to keep that open for military. Now, Putin kind of dismissed, it's of no military significance. Yeah, right. That's one that Putin said, I'm not buying. That bridge is very much of military significance because that's a shortcut to get supplies in and out, and a lot of supplies to Crimea. So it'd be a big hit to them losing that bridge entirely. They're not lost it entirely, but it's been cut, and another strike might knock it out completely. So who knows what's coming next, guys? But will there be some agreement to let Russia export grains of their own? I mean, I can see where they're coming from, and so, hey, wait a minute. This deal was supposed to have been set up where we're letting Ukraine send their stuff out, but we're sending our stuff out too. But you've got ours embargoed. You got ours. We can't get it out, and so we don't go with that. So until you permit us to sell, we're not going to permit them to ship. Yeah, I can see where the Russians are coming from on that, but NATO is being so hardcore about not letting people buy stuff from Russia right now with their sanctions. I'm just not sure they're going to reach a deal on that. So who knows where this is going? But what it has done is caused food prices to go up. And we're in a situation right now where harvests are down in America, harvests are way down in China, and China's buying everything up. So I expect no relief in food prices in the foreseeable future. I expect them to continue to go up. So that's a good time to plant your own stuff, like I mentioned earlier. Anyway, enough said. Keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel. Good Lord only knows what's coming at us next. But let's just hope they get this stuff resolved, and maybe all sides can sell the food and grain. But I wouldn't count on it. Don't bank on it. You better prepare for, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Eyes wide open, head on a swivel.